a tree like this one helped turn the tide of the war. During World War I, espionage gained popularity and became widespread. It was very difficult to observe the enemy's movements and see what they were doing.
During World War I, the Allies were facing a problem. How do you observe the enemies when the second you leave the trench, you get shot?
In 1915, the French found a way to solve this problem by using trees? Engineers would come take photos of blown up trees on the front line during the night. They would then take those photos back and work with artists to create exact replicas of these blown up trees.
In the middle of the night, the engineers would replace the trees with their exact replica, leaving the Allies with the man on the inside and the Germans none the wiser.
The Germans eventually found out what the Allies were doing, but not before this espionage tactic had the ability to change the tide of the war. Up next after the break, learn how Gabrielle Petit, a Belgian spy, died a martyr for her country and ended up being a symbol of wartime resistance. How did Gabrielle Petit, a member of the Belgian Red Cross, get executed by the Germans for espionage?
From a young age, Petite had to be very strong. She was born February 1893. She was raised in an orphanage and struggled with financial problems her entire life. She fell in love with and was engaged to a soldier named Maurice Gobert in early 1914. Gobert was injured defending Belgium. Afterwards, the two parted ways.
Then, Petite decided to join the Red Cross. Afterwards, a British agent approached Gabrielle and convinced her to move to Belgium and gather intelligence on the Germans.
Petite accepted, trained in London, and in 1915 began her work in Belgium. From August of 1915 to January of 1916, she worked observing the aftermath of battles and reporting the size of defense. She enlisted the help of friends to send her information to the Netherlands, and in February of 1916, she was arrested. Put on trial in March, she was then executed on the Western Front by firing squad. Her death was kept quiet, and it was not until 1919, several years after the war, that she became well known. However, when her story did come out, she was known as a national heroine and featured in poetry, music, and even a movie.
Though not nearly as famous as other female spies of the time, Petit is an important figure of Belgian resistance, and a hero despite her troubled past. From a Belgian spy that helped the British government, to a tree that helps soldiers see across enemy lines, I'm Donna Wildwoman, and this has been Enigmas at the Exhibit, Espionage Edition.